Hey guys, this is Tauna. Today we're talking about cards that you can potentially be putting into a mouse deck from Bloomburrow. I'm going to be building, a deck for basically every archetype from the new set because I am incredibly excited for it. This is one of the sets that I've been most looking forward to. It's right up my alley. Everything from the fact that it's all about, family and found family and community and stuff like that, down to the actual art is amazing. It's just ticking every single box that I have. So therefore, I'm trying to look at it. I'm trying to think about how I can potentially build decks around these characters. And the first one that I was thinking of right now is the mice. The mice just look really awesome. The first mouse that we saw was Mabel. However, Mabel isn't really a big part of the archetype for mice. She does fulfill some of it, but not incredibly. Before we get into it though, I do ask that you guys, if you could subscribe, that would be great. If you could like and share the video around, that would be amazing as well. It's a free way to support the channel. We are so close to 3,000 subscribers. I have made this, my full-time channel now, so it's a lot of pressure to try and go well. So if you guys don't know, the mice that are coming with the upcoming Bloomburrow expansion are all around buffing each other up. They have the new Valiant mechanic, which is very similar to the original Heroic mechanic. However, this Valiant mechanic instead triggers off of spells or abilities you control for the first time each turn. They basically, for the first time each turn, if you use something on this, then it's going to give you some kind of proc. Some of them are going to be as simple as stuff like, this one gets +1/+0 until end of turn, while some are a little bit more complicated, like the Ember Heart Challenger here, which is, an impulse draw. You exile the top card of your library until the end of turn, you can play it. So a lot of kind of different ways for you to be able to get a lot of benefits out of when you use abilities or spells that target these mice. It kind of works a little bit in the favor of the previous mice as well. They're around celebration and stuff. So they were whenever, 2 non-land permanents enter, you're getting buffs and stuff from those. They're not going to be incredibly useful in the deck. However, they are going to have a little bit of use because, the mice are little. You're going to be able to play a lot of them. Like if you have a look at their mana cost, they are very low cost, kind of Boros aggro deck. The cheeky house mouse here actually targets as well, which is really good. So that's an additional targeting option we've got there. And some of the new mice do target, so like Thistledown players here, that targets. We've got up here the Brambleguard Guardian as well, the Brave Kin duo here about the rabbit and the mouse going off on an adventure together. They target too, so there's a lot of kind of targeting ones in here, but not enough that we can build a full deck around yet. I do think that there is going to be another Boros commander here. I don't think that Mabel is it. She is like the lead of it, but I think there's going to be another one that's going to be, I think that they've already shown it actually. I think it's an Arthur. It's like a Arthur Marigold champion or something. Who knows if he's going to be just Boros though. So going into it, the first one here is Shuko. If you've been keeping up with any of the kind of meta at the moment, you would have noticed Shuko being, bonkers strong with the Nadu decks, and essentially it's the same thing here. We can pass the Shuko around to all of our different mice, give them the buff up, and boom, that's done. We do only need to do it once, so it's not like Nadu where you need to pass it around and then you're getting, a million triggers and spending an hour doing it. It's just like, you can just be like, oh, I pass the Shuko around to all of these. It costs 0, so it's free to pass it around. Something like, I haven't gone into going through these completely. I'm not showing all of them, but an example is something like Angel Fire Ignition as well. That's just a combat trick. Combat tricks are going to be very strong here. They're targeting they target a creature. There's some of them that target multiple creatures. You just, use it. It's buffing something up, and then usually it's buffing something up like this as well. So we've also got other things that Anointer of Champions here. This is tap, attacking creature gets +1/+1. It's an easy proc for something, but that's kind of thinking small, right? That's thinking small. That's buffing up one thing. This is buffing up one, maybe 2 things. Usually, there's some combat tricks that are buffing up 2 things. What about Cauldron of Souls here? Choose any number of target creatures, tap this. Each of those is going to gain persist until end of turn. We're going to chuck up persist on everything. We're going to proc this on everything, right? Now, Unfortunately, persist is, you know, -1/-1 counters. So if they die, they are potentially going to stay dead. Some of them, like, you know, the Nettle Guard here, the Raging Battle Mouse here, unfortunately. Like, you know, some of them are going to stay dead, unfortunately, if they come back with their persist, but it's a way for us to get a huge amount of procs on all of our mice really, really easily. Collector's Cage, 1 proc per turn, but it is going to allow us to play a card for free and, you know, put a +1/+1 counter onto things. +1/+1 counters are the best way to go, in my opinion, because from then, you know, for a start, we can cancel out our persist ones, and then also, you know, we're getting stronger as well, not just kind of temporary. Some stuff you can also do is stuff like Feather or Zada. Both of them are, whenever you cast them, like a non-creature spell. Oh, this one's a non-creature spell, targets only them. Zada, non-creature spell, but it's instant or sorcery, targets only them. That spell, for each other creature you control that spell could target, you get to copy it. So Feather works with auras, obviously better, and you can copy all the auras and everything, but Zada will work with our instants and sorceries. Feather will work with instants and sorceries as well. So you can just copy it, and each of them, because they target it, boom, now we've turned, you know, our our Angel Fire Ignition into putting all of this on all of our creatures, plus going to be also getting all of those procs for Valiant. Filigree Vector here, I included this one. It's not a great one, but it is going to be able to put it, you know, +1/+1 onto all of our target creatures. If you could flicker it or return it back to the battlefield later on, it's going to be a good procs, but it's going to be a good once-off like turn. Camp is a very interesting one. It makes it so that whenever we tap something for mana, like the land that it enchants onto, you tap it for mana, it's going to create a junk token if it's using it for a creature that shares a color with it. So you're going to be putting +1/+1 onto things, and, you know, from there also, you know, getting junk tokens to be able to do that impulse draw. Citadel Siege is an easy, repeatable one. Repeatable ones, I think, are the best way to go. This is going to put a +1, 2 +1/+1s onto something, or you could use it to tap something if you wanted to, depending on what opponent you're kind of versing here. I think putting 2 +1/+1s onto a creature, therefore also getting the Valiant proc, is going to be a good idea. Elspeth here, the +2 here is just put a +1/+1 onto each of up to 2 target creatures. Boom, that's 2 easy procs. And then we can use this to just, like, even this part here is dangerous, but then later on this is going to be dangerous too. We've got Invoke Justice here, where we get to bring back something back, which is really good already. You know, we can bring back our commander, or if we let it go to the graveyard, or we can bring back something that, you know, we really want, and then distribute some counters among any number of creatures or vehicles. So we can do, you know, four buffs basically, right? Because you can distribute 4 of them. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, easy. We've got something like Launch the Fleet. Now, this one is obviously with Strife, so it's going to cost us 1 more extra for each target we choose. But because we want to attack, we're in Boros, we're attacking very hard here. We're going to create a lot of soldiers, and all of them will be, you know, fodder that we can use, as well as the fact that each of these is going to get a proc. We've got Remedy here. Again, you know, we can prevent the next 5 damage that would be dealt this turn to any number of targets, divided as you choose. We can get 5 procs from that. The Cathars here. This is going to get us 3 procs. We've got Twin Flame. It's going to be expensive, but it is going to be enabling us to be able to get a lot of procs, and then also create a lot of creature tokens that we can get a huge amount of, you know, extra damage in from. Lightning Greaves, similar to Shuko, you can just pass the Lightning Greaves around because it's equip 0. We've got Martyrdom, so this is until the end of turn, target creature you control gains 0. So you tap, like, you pay 0, and then the next 1 damage that will be dealt to target creature, planeswalker, or player this turn is dealt to this creature instead. So we can put that onto a creature that we control, and then prevent damage. Redirect damage, but realistically the best thing about this is that it's going to give us easy procs, right? This is going to give us a proc on everything for costing 0, because you just put it on 1 creature and then you target 0, 0, 0, blah, 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 blah. You can target. There's no limit to the amount of times you can use this. We've got Roaming Throne in here. I put Roaming Throne in here simply because of the fact that each of these procs is only once per turn, right? Like, where is it? Here, so Valiant, this is only once per turn, but thanks to thanks to Roaming Throne, it's going to trigger twice for it. Really good. Really, really good. We've got Reconnaissance here, an easy way for us to be able to get procs. Now, the unfortunate thing is that it does remove it from combat. So there's kind of two different ways to use this. Either you wait until you actually hit someone and then you remove them from combat, which unfortunately means that they won't get the the extra damage or whatever ends up happening with them. But this is going to be useful and very, very cheap way to get a lot of those non-combat Valiant procs. So some of them are Valiant, but say, for example, the Ember Heart, get the proc on that. We can get the proc off of... Well, we can technically get the proc off Heartfire Hero, and it's going to put the +1/+1 on it, but we won't get the damage from it for next turn. We've got, say, the Mouse Trapper here. When it becomes a target, we get to tap something. So there, boom, we get to tap something with it. Very, very easy way to do it. And also, Umbral Mounts here, so we can pass this around, similar to, Shuko, as I said before. And then it's also going to enable us to be able to untap something if we want to. So, lots of different ways to be able to get a lot of different procs onto these Valiant creatures. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. I hope you had a wonderful day, and goodbye.